Yo, did you hear we just hit 8 billion people in the world?
There's 8 billion people.
I know, let that sink in.
Okay, yeah. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye. Oh, sorry. You didn't see that. Anyways, what's crackalacka? This is JT the OCG. And we are here after a very awkward conversation with Ashley. Now, I had one of that fridge logic kind of moments. If you don't know what fridge logic is, it's one of those things where everything seems normal until you open up the refrigerator, and then you're looking for something to eat, and all of a sudden something hits you about something that you experience, a movie, a show, or in this case, the game, and you go, but why? And that's what I'm getting with this game overall. So I think we're about halfway through this game. Again, I am playing this blind. My friend, who has played this game and encouraged me to play it, this is his favorite game out of the trilogy, by the way, which I believe is the consensus. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling it. Right now, the story is kind of contrived, and this seems like it's just a glorified side quest, right? But it's got me thinking about the whole Cerberus thing. And my friend brought up a good point, because I forgot that one of the backstories, my backstory is not this. My backstory is I was the squad and a Thresher Maul killed everybody and I was the one that got away. I believe that's the case. But he said there is a backstory where Cerberus basically wiped you guys, did something. I think it's called the Azure. Sorry, back. Okay, so I did cut that out because I wanted to look. Yeah, it's the war hero. If you're a war hero in your psych profile, that was something Azure where Cerberus basically wiped out or tried to wipe out your squad. Now I'm the one where I am the colonist, so I have the tragic backstory. And there's another thing. I know I was harsh on Jack. But really, Jack was the beginning of this trope that is prevalent in all of the media, and I have a number of women friends that like to game, and or like Marvel, by the way, and they liked the original Marvel, and they're sick of that trope of boss woman, no flaws, starts out perfect, gets even better type of thing. And Jack is looking like that. Now, I know I was harsh on her. Partially that was because I was playing too long. And when I do play video games too long, I do live up to my name, Cranky. I do get cranky after a while if I'm just sitting in one place doing something, the same thing. Another thing is the combat. So I know I was harsh on Jack. If she turns around and she becomes a good character, I'm willing to concede that I was absolutely incorrect about her. But this was the beginning of the time where the stuff started taking root, and all of a sudden it was that women were being written like weak men. So if you look at some of the villains in media, it's hard to distinguish the villains from the protagonists because they sort of have the same attributes. And that's not a good story. Okay? The hero's journey happens for a reason, you know? People love Sarah Connor and people love Ellen Ripley for a reason. Because they were the very feminine version of the hero's journey. And they added that aspect of the general, and I'm saying general because there's always exceptions, the general traits, strengths, and weaknesses of women put onto the hero, so it was something different. anyways, that's my rant for that. But I'm sitting here and the biggest thing is, why am I working for Cerberus? Why do I have no action in this story to say, go F yourself to Cerberus? We saw the horrific things they did. They killed the Admiral and everything, and that's just one of those fridge logic things that I was thinking about. Another thing is, with the glorified side quest, most of my crew are insufferable edgelords, like Jack. Miranda's not so great. We just saw Jacob. Jacob's got daddy issues, but he's a very generic character. He started off kind of strong, but so far it hasn't gone anywhere. There's like no growth, no second guessing. It would be great if Jacob started questioning why he even joined Cerberus in the first place, but we're not getting that. And worst of all, Garrus, who I was very disappointed with, that halfway in the middle of the game in Mass Effect 1, Garrus was just a non-entity. We got no more growth from Garrus. We got no more conversation with Garrus. Halfway in Mass Effect 1. That was minimized by bringing him on away missions, for lack of a better word, on missions where the banter between him and other squad mates, or with the environment or what we were doing, sort of gave him a little bit more personality. Not much, but a little more, but you still couldn't talk to him. In this game, unless there's a prompt, they don't really say anything. I've noticed that. They really don't banter between each other. They don't say anything about the environment you're in, unless you get this prompt where it says, A, Miranda, and she talks about the bar. Or Zaid, where he talked about Omega. You don't have that here. So it seems a little shallow. Plus, they're stuck in their little cubicles, and I haven't recorded this, but every time I do a mission, besides being stupid and not feeding my fish, whoa! Feed the fish! Besides not being stupid and killing my fish sometimes, I have not, they just stay in their corners. And Garrus, again, all he's talked about is calibrations. So I'm sort of disappointed in this. And again, with Cerberus, to go harken back on that point, we just saw one of the guys saying, I'm gonna get shut down and the elusive man is not gonna be happy, so I'm gonna use my own brother as an experiment. And of course, that rubbed me the wrong way, because non-autistic people saying, trying to put autistic people in this little box and say, oh no, but they're brilliant. That's a trope and a stereotype. A mathematical savant and everything like that. Listen, most autistic people are around you, and they're the awkward type. They're just awkward. We're socially awkward. I can't read faces, but you know what I can read? I could read filters. I could see filters. So ladies, you're not fooling me. I could see the camera filters on your photos. So for some reason I could pick those out better than anything. But seeing emotions and reactions on facial features is a weak spot for me. Tonal inflections sometimes I have trouble with. But I've worked on those weaknesses, so I get the, well, I would have never guessed you're autistic type of thing. Well, yeah, that's the point. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, I'm not going to sit here and let this define me. I have to conform to the majority. That's what everybody has to do. That's what society is. You have to conform somewhat, not all the way, but you have to conform somewhat to fit into a society. So part of mine was telling pun jokes in order to kind of like get that sort of social status kind of thing. Anyways, but no, that's what this game, that's so far with this game, that's what I'm seeing. And let me see, our armor. I want to go here, and we're going to do no helmet. because I'm not really enjoying... the helmet kind of scenes. The Firewalker thing. Oh, there's another thing. The Mako. I miss the Mako. I know, and this could be the Legendary Edition. I like the combat in Mass Effect 1, the Legendary Edition. I'm sure before the Legendary Edition it was janky and clunky and horrible. But I did ask my friend, and I said, was there an overhaul at BioWare between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2? I said, you look it up. Don't tell me a lot of details. I just want, like, because I don't want to be ruined for this experience. And he did. He looked up. The man who did, let's look up codex. The man who did all these, and here's another thing. These codex have not really been updated. They really haven't. This is the codex from the first game. And this was done by a man named Dan Kasparin. And I think, and my friend said, he's kind of in here. Oh, not the Fornax, you know. There it is. So his name is actually Dan Karpshian. I think it's Dan. They just changed it to Drew. But they kind of honored him here. This is the guy that created all what is the Domino backstory. Everything that was a backstory before the first game happened. All these things. And, you know, I disagree with some things. Like, some things don't make sense. Like the Krogans living to like 100 years. But yet they populate like single-cell organisms. So there, when it comes to like the genophage, you're sitting... I don't know if it's such a morally gray section anymore, because you're sitting at, well, they live 100 years, they're in space, they're spacefaring now, so they're not on their planet where the mortality rate is very high for young Krogans, which is why they need to, which would explain why they have to populate, right? That makes sense. But when you're in space and all of a sudden now you don't have to deal with all those issues and you can overpopulate, it does become a problem, and therefore you got to sit here and go, is it really a gray area, the genophage? It looks more and more like the genophage was a damn good idea. And I really appreciate the fact that it was the Solarians that came up with it, because you got to remember the Solarians live a very short lifespan. So all of their thought processes are, what is the quickest solution to a problem right now? Because they don't have to look far they don't look far in the future, because it's irrelevant, because they'll be dead by then. So, and this was Dan Kirschpin, who I think, and my friend said he was sort of pushed to the back midway during Mass Effect 2, which explains a lot. And a guy named Mac Walter became like the lead writer. And he's also the guy that did Mass Effect Andromeda. So I actually kind of pulled my friend, and I feel bad about it. And so if you love this game, don't just take my words. Just take my words and go, okay, that's how you feel. Don't let it affect you loving this game, please. I don't want that. I'm just telling you how I feel as a gamer playing this game, okay? Love this game. You know, games that you love. Everyone has games that they love. That I love Star Wars Battlefront, the first one, the 2005 one. It is janky, buggy as hell. The AI is horrible. I still love it, right? Love this game. I'm just saying the reason I'm seeing these things that are saying that I love Mass Effect 1. I do, and I'm glad I played Mass Effect 1, and I'm glad I played the Legendary Edition of it, because apparently it fixed a lot of the issues that plagued the first game. But I'm not telling you not to love Mass Effect 2 and not to be your favorite game of all time, or this trilogy, that it's a great trilogy. I'm just saying the things that I'm seeing. And this Max Walter is also the guy who did Andromeda, and unfortunately my friend was like, oh God, I'm seeing it now that you're saying it. And I go, oh no. No. I'm just saying, this is what I'm seeing. And the
The
elusive
reclusive
man.
tycoon calling himself the elusive man is a human nationalist focused on advancing human interests, whatever the cost.
I mean, and it's not even foreshadowing that he's going to be bad guy. It's telegraphing. You're telegraphing that this guy is going to turn on you. So I already know that.
Typical terminus.
Now my friend also looked up Dan Kasparian, and they said he's part. I forgot what the game was, but he went out of because of his. He got pushed to the side at BioWare and treated horribly because the culture during that time. Gaming developers started not hiring on meritocracy. They started hiring on other criteria. And so things suffered. And this is one reason why I did not play a lot of video games 2000 to 2015. There are very few games that I could tell you aside from like Star Wars Battlefront 2, that I can sincerely say are in my great games of all time from that kind of decade. You know, I wouldn't say 2000. I got 2005, like after Battlefront 2. So I would say 2005, 2015, because I saw things were changing when it came to video games, and with this video game. My friend said there was also Hudson, the director, also said we wanted to make it less like a game and more of an experience. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that this thing is sort of like a very linear. The choices are less so far. And I don't think they're going to have a lot of consequences. And so yeah. And so right now I'm kind of disappointed in that fact. But I also see this. We have Tali. Oh, thank you. Tali, I was irritated at Tali, so this is sort of rolls into Jack. When Tali first came around in Mass Effect 1, she was annoying, she irritated me, but then her character arc and her growth during Mass Effect 1, which didn't stop halfway through like Garrus, I think was one of the best. I think Ashley was the best, and Tali was second. When it came to Mass Effect 1, when it came to a character growth and arc. Depending on your choices, of course. Depending on your choices and what you chose in the dialogue. So please, I'm hoping Tali, it doesn't become another one of these insufferable edgelords with the tragic betrayal backstory like everybody else. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, so we got Tali, the Justier, and Asari Matriarch. We're gonna have to see, but again, we already know. What was her name? Deanna Troi there. Bizarria, I think her name was. Not a really fleshed out character, much like everyone that actress has. It's basically just a plot device. Thane Krios, quick kill biotic specialist, expert sniper, an elite assassin. Again, so we got an assassin, we got a mercenary, we got all these guys. The Shadowbrock, Liara, okay, Liara also. I want to see how she has developed. Oh, and here's another thing. I'm sorry. Here's another thing. Why did I die? What purpose did that have except for the Michael Bay cinematic in the beginning? Right? I mean, 2 years is too much. I'm sorry. 2 years. You can see from the media stuff that we have. 2 years is a little too much. I think it would have been better if it was 18 months, maybe. Well, no, not 18 months. I'm sorry. 14, maybe a little bit over a year, maybe less than a year, maybe 9 months. If you want to go the whole baby Jesus route there, you know, birth, rebirth, that type of stuff. How about 9 months? It took 9 months. But even then, how the hell did I survive re-entry into an atmosphere without burning up? Was it the shields? Was it I mean, some of those things you have to suspend your disbelief, I guess. But still, that's kind of stretching it. I think that could have been done a better way, and I don't see the purpose except for using the very tired Messiah complex for Shepard, which I don't like. I like the fact that Shepard was just less of the Messiah archetype on Shepard, more of the John McClane. You know, John McClane, that third movie, Live Free or Die Harder, it has one of the best scenes in all of Die Hard, all of the Die Hard movies, where he's just sitting there and he's with the hacker kid, and he's saying, you know, wife left me, doesn't even want to use my last name, kids don't talk to me, all kind of stuff, and they go, well, why do you do it? Well, someone's got to do it. Oh, that's what makes you that guy. Yeah, that's what makes you that guy. So it's the first time that John McClane actually has this, you know, this kind of sucks. Me being in this position, me having to do this, it kind of sucks. But you know what? I do it because it has to be done. That's what I want. That's what I feel John Shepard is. He's just, it could have easily been Ashley that touched that, the Prothean beacon in the first game. But we saw that it was something that might cause harm. We pushed her away, and we're the ones that got the... That's the only thing that makes us special in this game. It should be. Outside of our personality, which we should be in charge of. But in this game, I don't feel in charge of my destiny. I can't backstab Cerberus. I can't tell them to go to hell. And, you know, Chakos and Joker joining up Cerberus and everything. It's, I mean, they give, oh, Miranda, Jake, okay. So we got Miranda. But I don't know. I think we should go with Tally. And most of this damn video is going to be me just ranting about the first half of this game. And I may piss off people, and this might get ratioed. But you know, it's just my feelings, and it's just one of those things that I kept thinking about. And I haven't played the game in about 4 days. So I mean, that's just something something I'm dealing with now. I'm not saying it's a horrible game. I'm not saying this is a horrible game.
Miranda wants to see you, Commander.
Okay.
I saw the reports on Horizon, Commander. What you did was amazing. The report mentioned that Ashley Williams was there. How did that go?
Oh, Kelly, I'm not getting into this with you. But you can comfort me later.
There's not much to say. The past is the past.
I understand. Anyway, how may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
Operative Lawson would like to see you at her station on the crew deck. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Take care.
Okay. Yeah, we're not getting into that. I'm not sitting there going, I miss her. No. It's over. It's done and dusted, I suppose. I sort of like that. I mean, romancing games is not my thing. I'm not really there, and you know, I'm not the I get to F an alien kind of guy. It happened. It seemed right in Mass Effect 1 where things went that way, and with the discussion, it's a little bit more awkward flirting with Kelly. But I chalk that up to, it's been 2 years. I got blue suns. And, but I'm not one to kind of push for that stuff. But it seemed a good thing. I mean, you know, romanced Ashley, and part of that was her sitting there going, how the hell could you deal with these guys? You know who they are. Are you even you? And that's another thing. It's like, I burned up in the atmosphere. Am I me? Am I a clone? Did they really just clone me? Do I have a control chip in my head? No new messages. Let's talk to Joker. Most of this is just gonna be, yeah, most of this is gonna be me ranting. And we'll set up, I guess we'll set up the thing. Oh, another thing my friend got really ticked at me is apparently I think I missed a submachine gun in Kasumi's mission. And he said, how the hell?
Check is clean.
Check is clean.
Hey, Commander. It's pretty crazy the people you can run into out here, huh? I mean, it was probably a setup or something, but it was still good to see Ash, Operations Chief Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're not gonna. Why would you spill your guts out to everybody? This is not Shepard. This is not therapy session. I don't understand this. It's more of dealing with this kind of stuff. This game seems more like a soap opera, a space opera, I should say. Like, no, hey, listen. White lies are good for a reason. It was good, no, yeah.
We talked, but things have changed. We let it go.
Oh, good, because I was not looking forward to your mood if that went bad. There's a reason I don't date crew, Commander.
Wait a minute. So how does everybody know about this? How does everybody know about this?
I assume.
I think we should change him because he's got his damaged thing. Let's get him in some new equipment. That's a little weird for Grunt, but okay. Yeah, we're putting her with less gratuitous stuff. She's gonna say nothing, right? Let's just hope she says nothing that pisses me off. But at least she's in her clothes.
Hey,
Tell me about you, Jack. What are you up to?
still checking out your ship. Wouldn't mind
okay.
putting her through her paces when you're not around.
Yeah.
If I take you too seriously, I might need to deal with you.
Try it. Anyway, relax.
Oh my God.
Joyriding
Oh
doesn't have
God.
the thrill it used to. Besides, if I wanted it, I'd take it.
That's so.
I've been around. Ran with gangs, wiped out some gangs, joined a cult. Kept the haircut. I learned how to survive and not be a victim.
Really? Because all I'm getting from you are victim vibes. That's all I'm getting from Jack. Oh, I'm not a victim. Yeah, you are. You're acting just like one.
Doesn't sound like you're doing much living. Not for yourself.
There you go.
What do you know, Cerberus lapdog, military stooge? You do nothing but live for other people. Everybody wants something, and because of that, everything is fair game.
Oh, it's gonna be
Murder,
this.
assault,
Okay, it's gonna be this
drugs,
trope. Okay.
stealing, arson, done it all. And that's the boring shit.
Why do I have you on my
Piracy,
ship?
Theft of military craft, destruction of a space station, and vandalism. That was a good one.
All right. Why did I put this person on my ship? Why is she part of this mission? How do I know she's not gonna just like shoot me in the head on the first mission or just take off? Because right now her character is telling me that she would take off. All right, I'm really not interested in her braggadocious kind of bullcrap, but
Military's a hard target. Bet that made you some friends.
Shouldn't have left the thing unlocked. Besides, parades are boring. I helped.
A space station. You're pushing what I can believe.
Ain't saying it was easy. Not everything is spur of the moment. Sometimes you gotta work to give people what they deserve. Had some people I hung with for a while. Outlaw colony. Felt like they were like me. Guess that made us a nice target. Turians think they know something about a scorched earth response. Fuck 'em.
oh, and there's the vulgarity. Okay.
You were a pirate too?
Ties in with the kidnapping. If you hijack a passenger ship and don't kill everyone, anyway. Good lesson. Simpler to just kill them all.
I don't like this character at all. I really, it would have to be like some great writing, which I'm not sure this game can do. It would have to be some great writing for me to sympathize with this one. I mean, you could get me to neutral ground, but I don't think I'm going to be pro-Jack anytime soon.
I'm surprised you'd even mention vandalism in that bunch.
That's what the Hanar call it when you crash that space station I mentioned into one of their moons and make a new crater. They really liked that moon.
Wow. Okay. That's just being an asshole for an asshole's sake. Okay.
Do you ever wonder if you could have done things differently?
No.
Shouldn't you?
There's no reason I should be alive, but I am. You know why? Instinct. It's worked for me so far, and I'm not gonna change. Hey, Shepard. No one's ever asked me about this shit. It's strange to talk about. So fuck you. And thanks for asking.
Why even ask her about the mission? Seriously, why? She wouldn't be part of this mission. From what she's saying right now, as soon as we dock somewhere, she'd be off and running.
So Kenneth, did you know we've got a crazy woman squatting down in the subdeck? And she's a murderer, has biotic powers that could crush you with a blink, hates everyone in Cerberus.
Well, ain't that peachy?
Oh, thank God. I thought, Donley, I thought you were gonna praise her and say something about how she's sexy and brilliant. But thank you, at least Daniels, I like Daniels. She is just a pragmatic character. I like Daniels. And, you know, Donley's the comic relief. Those guys are two of my favorite characters. Just from their ambient conversations. Okay.
Access to life support is restricted.
And Kasumi's not the greatest in-depth character, and her loyalty mission was, I don't know. It was okay, but it just seemed like, it seemed a little, I don't know, it seemed like a 15-year-old writing a Sherlock Holmes novel. It had some beats in it that were like heist related, but when it came down to it, and plus Hawk's accent, oh my God, horrible. And that's voice directing right there. But because if you're the voice director, the first thing you go is, what are you doing? Stop that. Whatever accent you do, just stop it. Use your regular voice.
There you are. I have to say, that Jacob, he seems pretty intense. I wonder if he likes Japanese girls with a penchant for kleptomania.
What? Okay. You were just pining over your lover that you wanted to save his memories, and now you're... Oh my goodness. My goodness. Kasumi, I liked our conversations, but right now, alright, you just went down a couple of pegs. Really.
Joker and Edie are like an old married couple. I keep expecting to walk in on them bickering about the temperature in the cockpit. Edie has a wicked sense of humor. Or I should say, a really funny lack of one. Sometimes she seems like a person. But when it comes down to it, I can't get past her being a computer.
Alright, so she's saying the same thing.
Come back later. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about.
I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. I mean, that's just... Holy crap. Oh, Jacob. Okay, you were just forlorn over your old lover, and now... Holy crap, man. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Access to the AI core is restricted.
So we still can't go in there.
Weren't you originally stationed on Horizon?
Yes. If I hadn't joined Cerberus, I'd be abducted by the Collectors right now.
Wow, you really dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I couldn't take that. They creep the hell out of me.
like when these ambient conversations between my engineers and Hawthorne and I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. Have more depth to it than like your side characters. Something is amiss. People weren't talking in the writer's room, I think. And these guys aren't going to say anything because that issue has been resolved. He's got his still
The
kicking
starboard
there.
observation deck is closed until needed.
Okay, so we have Tally and Liara and the Asari. So I think they're going to be in these areas. Gardner he's all done. He had one conversation, he got his food provisions, and now can't talk. And then here, Garrus.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
Can it wait for a bit? I'm in the middle of some calibrations.
And then this. It's like...
Talk to you later, Garrus.
I'll be here if you need me.
Garrus is one of my favorites, and this is the conversation I have with him all the time. I rarely had a conversation with him. And then when we go down on planets, he doesn't have the witty little banter. I mean, the banter we had in the beginning where I said, it's an improvement on your face. And he said, yeah, well, you know, I couldn't let you get all the women. That was a great bro moment. And now we just, it's nothing. All right, Miranda.
Shepard, I find myself in the unpleasant position of asking for your help. I don't like discussing personal matters, but this is important.
You basically spilled out how your esteem is horrible because Daddy wanted a perfect girl, which I think is probably one of the writers at BioWare putting their own personal demons into a writing, but hey, you don't like discussing personal matters.
Miranda, you're one of my crew. Tell me what's on your mind.
You remember what I told you about Father? Building a dynasty? There was another reason I went to Cerberus for protection. I have a sister, a twin, and he's still hunting her. Cerberus has kept her safe, until now. She's living a normal life on Ilium, safe and hidden from my father.
Hold on. Your father is one of the backers of Cerberus. And now we're getting... Wait, your father was one of the backers of Cerberus, you said. Or maybe not. I don't know. I may be wrong on that one, but I thought she said that he was a supporter of it, but he can't get you because of the elusive man. But okay.
So you think your father has tracked her down?
Precisely, Commander. My sources indicate he knows that she's on Ilium. I've tried to keep her hidden without impacting her life, but I'm out of options. He's too close. I need to relocate my sister's family before it's too late.
What do you know about your sister?
She's my genetic twin. We're identical, but she deserves a normal life, and she's going to get it no matter what.
All right, so she was created, and she's identical twin, and you think that she could stay hidden because you don't stick out like a sore thumb. Odd. Okay.
Does your sister's family know about this? Are they okay with being relocated?
They know nothing. They're completely uninvolved. Normal. I told Cerberus, and they're coming up with a positive reason to move the family.
Alright, well, I guess we can help, I guess.
What do you need me to do?
My father is extremely persistent. I'd like to go to Ilium when Cerberus is moving the family to make sure none of his agents get too close. My contact's name is Lantea. She'll be waiting for us in the lounge near the Nos Astra docking bay.
Okay.
If we have time, I'd like to go to Ilium and relocate my sister's family.
Can you tell me more about relocating your sister?
My father is after my sister. I've kept her hidden for years, but his agents have tracked her to Ilium. I need to help her. You remember what I told you about Father? There was another reason I went to Cerberus.
Okay.
I have a sister. She's living a normal life on Ilium, safe and hidden from my father.
Oh boy,
So you think your father...
I've tried to keep her hidden with...
I can't investigate.
He's too close.
What do you need me to do?
My contact's name is...
Alright, so I can't do the investigating kind of thing, so she's gonna keep on doing that until we finish that. Now Kasumi, who I kind of like, even though she does have the tragic backstory and she ninja'd an Assassin Creed up there onto a helicopter or a gunship. Oh boy. Which was kind of ridiculous, but I'm wondering, can I go back and try to get that submachine gun? I don't think I can I? Oh, well, let's do some David, try to do some Sir David Attenborough things to kind of to bring some brevity into this, because I know I've been kind of like, I've been cranky. And so, let's do this.
Venture. A pressure cooker of a planet, Venture's thick, nitrogen-based atmosphere is also the source of wealth for a small colonist industry. While Venture's high temperatures are brutal, the primordial soup is not as acidic as on the other hothouse planets, and xenon can be readily collected and isolated from the lower troposphere by recovery pods. I gotta remember to breathe, because that's what, because he's a little older, so he kind of breathes a little heavier. This xenon is then sold for use in ion drives and some electrical lights. Venture's gravity is relatively low for a planet of its size, making the recovery more economical than would otherwise be expected.
Probe launched.
Prospect is a hydrogen-nitrogen gas giant with 13 known moons, most of which seem to have dense heavy metal deposits on first scan, starting a resource rush by the colonists from nearby Horizon. In a tragic turn of events, a galactic uranium surplus drove half the mining firms out of business, and the surfaces of some moons are littered with the bodies of executives who committed suicide by airlock. What the hell? Oh no! Today's mining corporations have reached a much more palatable equilibrium and hold more diversified and sustainable portfolios. Prospective was within the frost line of its solar system, where ice giants do not normally form. For this reason, it is believed to have been an extrasolar capture.
Launching probe.
Perched on the outer edge of Iria's small solar system, Watchman is a mid-sized rock and ice planet that has picked up a dozen moonside objects. Its nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere is too thin to support life, with solid ice covering its calcium-heavy rocky core. Footprints of the first surveying teams to come to the planet can still be seen on its practically airless surface. The planet devoid of valuable resources has seen few visitors since.
Okay, so we're not going to get much here.
Launching probe.
Oh, we got more than I thought. Alright. Well, what I'm gonna try to do, Shadow C. I'm gonna try to go back here. Oh! Soul. All right. We'll go to Earth. Let's go to Mercury. Okay, so we got Mercury. 340? I'm sorry. I know it's molten hot on one side and cold because the way that Mercury...
Probe away.
Mercury rotates on its axis, but how the hell could you get 340 people on Mercury without burning? Alright, Venus. Where's Venus? Oh, there's Venus. 800 on Venus? Molten temperatures, sulfuric acid clouds of crushing carbon dioxide. Research, oh, okay, Aerostat Research Outpost, okay. But I still don't know how Mercury would do it.
Probe launched.
Standard issue Alliance Galactic Codex, Earth's orbit's riddled with debris generated by bootstrap space development. Yeah, if you ever saw, I mean, they always have like the old picture of Earth from the moon, but if you saw our planet, its orbit looks, we look like freaking disgusting. We look like our pollution of our atmosphere and orbiting. We got so many things going on. It's just, it looks horrible. It really does. And we got Mars. Once considered a prospect for terraforming colonization, faster than light travel turned Mars into a quiet backwater. Oh, there's nobody here. There's no population. Southern Pole Historical Preserve Center on the Prothean ruins found there. Immigration and development are restricted to search for... Okay. So there's nothing to probe there. What about the asteroid field? Nothing? Not even the big asteroids? Nope. Okay, Saturn. Helium-3 fuel for fusion planets is 2150s. The moon of Titan, yeah, Titan, okay, is mined for hydrocarbons. Used as a hostile environment for Alliance Marines. Okay. Huygens Dome. Orbitals in Titan, 117,000.
Probe launched.
We got Jupiter, deep gravity well, lethal radiation, moons from being significantly exploited. Binary Helix Corporation's Nautilus facility attached to the underside of Europa's ice sheet. Europa, okay. I think, yeah, Europa is the one where they think if they think it's water, but they don't know if it's maybe liquid nitrogen. But they think if like that, if Europa's ice melted, it would create an atmosphere, maybe? I think I read something on that.
Probe away.
So I don't know the significance of this except sort of like fan service here, which this game seems to have a lot of fan service. Like in a bunch of in a universe with trillions upon trillions, we seem to see the same people from Mass Effect 1 way too often, which I like on the Citadel the news part where you could kind of see, but again, 2 years too long, right? Hearing those things like 9 months after we came, we had some horrific accident or something, or went into a coma maybe. Which it would have been better if the Alliance found us and basically kind of said we were killed in action because they didn't want to cause panic about Shepard dying after saving the council and everything. They kind of, you know, they were throwing in some they're throwing some propaganda, so they're like, well, I don't think people can find out, or he's in a coma, so we don't want to really call it, but we really think he's dead. I just think the Alliance, I don't know. The Cerberus thing just irks me a bit too much. After development of Mass Effect FTL drive distance, Uranus was the target of a land rush. Uranus is the largest producer of HE3. Population 371,000. Okay. Depleted.
Really, Commander?
Really, Commander? Oh my god, did you just make a, did this game just make a probing Uranus joke? Okay, I guess. Oh, wow. Wow. That explains a lot. That explains a lot of some of the writing in this game. It really does. Where they were like, hey, you know what'd be funny? When we go Uranus, you know how people pronounce it Uranus? Okay. Neptune's got nothing.
Launching probe.
So Neptune, helium, which by the way, helium is escaping Earth's atmosphere, so we might not have helium in a couple hundred years in this planet, which is weird. How in 200 years would they be able to change their voices to a chipmunk like this? On Triton. So Triton is one of the moons. It's got 70. And then poor Pluto. Look at it, it doesn't even have an orbit. It does not even have an orbit. They don't care. Actually, I don't think they can really have Pluto's orbit in this very generic kind of thing they have, because Pluto has a very weird orbit that intersects Neptune and Uranus's orbits, I believe. It's sort of a squish kind of orbit. Sol's numerous ice dwarf worlds. Gravitational anchor for the mass relay to Arctic. You know what? That is absolutely brilliant. And you know this is Dan Karpshian's writing right here.
Probe launched.
Well, it's like, what will we do with Pluto? We'll have the Mass Effect relay right outside of Pluto, and we'll say that its gravitational is basically key for this mass relay. And just the whole thing about the mass relay, about the whole Turian war, about us not knowing about us not knowing that you couldn't open up mass relays because that's how the Rachni got into
launching probe.
And no. Okay, so we cannot land there again. So yeah, I'm not, you know, those things happen. So we did not get the great submachine gun, and we cannot get it. We missed out. And that's what I do like. That's one of the RPG aspects
Fuel reserves at 50%.
that this game does have. Not a fan of this fuel thing though. Don't need to go to the Citadel. Oh, let's look. Crescent Nebula. That's everybody. Oh, but I want Tally. Oh my gosh, she's so far away though. Shadow Sea. The Hawking, yeah, that was in the first game. We only have 92% on Hades Nexus, though, so we're going to go over there. Ah, we did not go over here. Sheol. Only one planet. It's kind of weird.
I have detected an anomaly.
Ah, okay, so we may have something else going on here.
A nearly atmosphereless, tidally locked planet orbiting a red dwarf star. Gay Hinnom was the first place human explorers discovered a dedicated Prothean burial ground. While a few sites were saved for posterity, Edfell Ashland Mining successfully lobbied to scout the rest of the planet for Element Zero, and soon was embroiled in a scandal. Mining teams were looting grave sites, searching for Ezo and other treasures, and many got rich off of the so-called cemetery business. While EAM officially brought a stop to the looting, its mining teams remain on the planet prospecting the unclaimed territory and taking the ore to the Pamet system for refining. Travel advisory: armed conflicts have broken out between miners and scientists staking claims to Prothean runes. Visitors are advised to employ security while exploring unknown regions of the planet. Population 11,503. Oops, 2. Oops, 1. 11,492. Things are hot down there, baby.
Probe. Something on our sensors.
Surface scans show evidence of a shipwreck meeting Quarian design specifications. Identity of ship unknown. Number of life signs detected in vicinity uncertain. Local wildlife may interfere with accuracy of biological scan. Oh! No. Alright, hold on. Sorry, we gotta get Tally. We're gonna get Tally and then we're gonna come back. There's Halstrom.
Once a starship refueling station for the Quarians, Sharom has expanded under Geth rule. Thousands of orbital platforms surround the planet and its many moons, refining helium into helium-3. A vast Geth fleet comes and goes between Sharom and Halstrom, preventing all but the most stealthy of spy drones from discovering any information about it. Current estimates place the Geth fleet numbers between 5,000 and 10,000 ships with unknown levels of armament. Travel advisory: most intelligent estimate states that approaching Sharon is tantamount to suicide. All civilian traffic is prohibited. Population 250,000, 500,000 platforms. 1895 Hell's Hive Dina Station.
Launching probe.
Alright, so Gotha, pressure cooker. Gotha, guest space.
Probe away.
So nothing there. One more planet, I assume. No. Should I go here or should I wait for Tally and then go there? I want Tally. I do want Tally. I didn't mean it that way. Mine's out of the gutter. Tally is one of my trusted advisors. Well, family. I'm gonna say it. She's sort of like family at this point. She was my engineer. She proved herself, just like Garrus. She took my shepherd, who was very bigoted towards Turians because they did not help when his family was slaughtered, as they were supposed to be the patrols. Tally was kind of like a snot-nosed brat, and sort of whinging, but she kind of grew, and I would like to say Shepard got some of her compassion and empathy, and she got some of Shepard's pragmatism and also some of his morality, because I think at this point she's more in line with, you know what, you're right, we kind of did turn on the Geth. That's what I got from the ending of Mass Effect 1, where she was coming to that point where, hey, wait a minute, yeah, the Geth are a danger to the Quarians, but it's our fault. It's our fault too. There's always two sides to a conflict, and I think she was pulled more towards that side. She's more pro-Quarian than she is, anti-Geth at this point. I don't think she still likes the Geth, of course, and she's not going to agree with us fully, but she became open-minded. That's what I said. She became open-minded to see, oh, wait a minute. I've been told, I lived in Quarians, and I've been told that this is it, and the Geth are dangerous, and the Geth are the enemy. But seeing this from a different point of view, someone else's point of view, looking on the outside in, I see that it's more... It is a more intricate issue than I was led to believe, right? So, anyways, we'll enter orbit.
Formerly a Quarian colony, Haestrom was established to observe the phenomenon on Dolan, the system's parent star. Dolan appeared to be unstable with a high possibility of erupting prematurely into a red giant. Haestrom was lost to the Geth in 1896 CE. Soon after, all communication from the planet and its attendant space station ceased. The Geth have shown no signs of treating Dolan as a threat over the past 3 centuries, other than establishing several space stations near it. Dolan's magnetic eruptions and solar output overwhelm most communications near it, and it is unclear how the Geth have compensated. Today's spy probe scans indicate extensive orbital construction around Haestrom, housing thousands of Geth platforms and an unknown number of Geth software mines. It is not known how many Geth are on the planet's surface. Spy probes face interference from Dolan, making remote scanning difficult. Resource estimations based on Geth mining, refining, and fabricating practices suggest the planet has at least 20 more years of use before it is exhausted. Intelligence experts speculate that the Geth had not exploited all their resource because they wish to keep some in reserve for repairs. Travel Advisory: Haestrom is a Geth stronghold. Military spy drones using cutting-edge STEP technology are the only vehicles that have returned unharmed from Geth space. All civilian traffic is prohibited. Right? So we're going to exit out there. We are going to call it here because most of this was a rant. Most of it was a rant. Kelly, anything else?
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else, Commander?
No. That'll be all.
I'll be here if you need anything.
All right. I do like the addition of actually having a yeoman. That way, it's pretty easy to check your private terminal. It's pretty easy. But I like it's immersion. That's what it is. It's immersion. Having Kelly here is immersion because I'm not sitting here hitting the start and looking at my journal, right? So I like that. It's immersion. Anyways, I've ranted too much during this time. So what I'm going to do is call it here. I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of action here. But, yeah, it's just one of those things where, again, the fridge logic, I got to thinking, I'm kind of sitting here and I just wanted to spill my thoughts. Many of you might not agree. Some of you might agree with my take on Mass Effect 2, but it's just my thoughts. And again, I'm not saying these are cemented. It's just what I'm feeling now. At the end of the game, I might have a different opinion, but especially when I asked my friend to look up if there was any differences from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, and the big thing is the guy who actually built this whole world, built the lore, and he was a writer. He's not a game developer, not a game director, not a game programmer. He's a writer, and he's the one that built all that stuff up from Mass Effect 1. That is basically the same thing here in Mass Effect 2. However, he was kind of pushed to the side in the middle of this process, and a guy named Matt Walter, who I don't know a lot about Mass Effect Andromeda. One of my subscribers have played that, and so I from all intents and purposes, it's been called a really crappy game, except for the combat, which means the story, the narrative, the characters are not very well put together. That guy is the one that took over as lead writer here in Mass Effect 2, and he would later become the writer for Mass Effect 3. With, at that time, Dan Keshbrin, I'm gonna butcher his name, but Dan was pushed, had very little to do with Mass Effect 3. And Mass Effect 3, I know, has always gotten crap for its ending, which is a big part. I mean, what kills a trilogy? If you don't end it on a good note, or even a half decent note. People are always going to be ticked at an ending for a trilogy. But when an overwhelming majority are, you did something that took the previous two games and kind of said, none of that matters. And that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I don't know for certain. We'll have to see when I play Mass Effect 3. Anyways, that guy is the one that took over this lead, and I'm seeing the differences now. Right now, all I can see is Garrus. I can see over-sexualizing in this game so far. Tropes being placed on the backstories of these side characters. And Garrus, after his great loyalty mission there, just has kind of been pushed to the side, and I don't get it. And his character seems to be like reset so far. Again, my opinions could change. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. Get off my interlawn. Next time we will be getting Tally, and God, I hope she's written well.